You know, I'm trying to bring the people. I'm trying to bring the people some good stuff. And all you want to do, you know, be like a little 8-year-old.
That's it. I'm just here for plucky comic relief. That's it.
Plucky. Oh, man. Oh, guys, what is going on out there today? Hope you're having a great day so far, wherever you are, as you tune into this episode number 101 of Gold Ball Hunting. Boom!
Boom!
Boom, baby. So I'm Brent Abel. That dude over there is Jeff Jacklich. And we are Gold Ball Hunting, as I said, episode number 101. We're now on the path to, what's our next big goal, 150 or 200? I mean, 1,000? Are we now into the, I mean, we've committed to 365 of them.
Well, I think 200 is the next goal because we didn't do anything until we got to 100.
All right, so we better
150 would seem like, you know.
What-de-do.
Yeah, who cares?
Right.
You know, so
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you mean you're celebrating your birthday? What are you, 70 and a half? Okay, so you're
Right.
Okay. All right, guys. So before we get into today's topic, which I think, you know, Jeff doesn't know what I'm going to throw at him today, but
No idea.
It's something that I don't think teaching. It's like a paradox. Teaching pros.
Ooh.
Teaching pros.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, before we get into today's topic, I want to remind you Jeff and I are offering a free private coaching call. It's 10 minutes. That may not seem like much time. However, if there's one thing in your game that you think that if you could figure it out, it might help you get that result that you really want, believe me, 10 minutes is plenty of time to get that thing to where we can help put you on the path to get that result that you want. It's a free, as I mentioned, private, the three of us, you, me, and Jeff, a phone call, conference call. And the way to get on that, go over to goldballhunting.com, put in a first name, email address, click the button, and you'll get access to our online scheduling calendar where you get to cherry pick the date and time, that works best for you. I mean, I've only said this 101 times. You would think by now I would have it just like that.
I was trying to keep a straight face so you wouldn't crack up.
Still
just minding my own business over here.
Still a tongue twister for me. What else? Anything else? We got our senior playbook coming out. God dang it. Soon. Within about a week, 10 days. It's assuming that we can finish off all the videos to make this incredible offer that we've got for this playbook. So, you guys, another reason to get in our email list so that you get notified when we release the senior singles playbook. Again, goldballhunting.com, and you can get in our email list as well. So, Jeff, I've got a statement, not so much a question, and that, you know, one thing that we seem to do as teaching pros is we teach players what we want them to do. Let's talk about technique, right? We teach them forehand. Here's what I want you to do, right?
Right.
Either we talk it through where it's, you know, auditory, or we don't say anything. We say, hey, just do this, you know, or it's some other form of telling them what to do. But the thing I don't think we do at all, or if at all, maybe a little bit, is we don't teach players how to learn. Boom.
Yeah.
How to learn, which is different than what to do. I just
totally.
And so, you know, I keep recommending couple of books. Number one is The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle, which goes through all these different, whether it's music, whether it's a sport or different sports. And the Talent Code references a lot in tennis, a lot in soccer. There's a lot of musical references in there, but it's really, how do we learn something? And there's some things that have to be happening And I don't think that us as teaching pros spend enough time either educating ourselves
Right.
how how to teach someone how to learn in general, but
Right.
specifically how to learn what we want them to do. The other book
Yeah.
is the other book is a very small book that I keep telling you to read, called Mastery by George Leonard. And actually, in that, it's a book about how to improve at something, how to get better at something. But there's a big reference in there to tennis, specifically with my friend Pat Blaskauer,
Yeah.
who wrote The Art of Doubles, and a former Tom Stowe student. But what do you think? I mean, how do we? I mean,
I totally.
when I ask you, how do you teach your students to learn? Is there a method you've got, or is there something you
Well,
do?
the way I teach and coach has totally transformed over the years. Especially when I started playing again in 2012. Well, started when I came back to the game. Started teaching again in 2010. That was the first thing. I'd stepped out of teaching for almost 10 years. Was just teaching a little bit on the side. Kind of more of a hitting partner and that kind of thing. And then stepped back into teaching in 2010, and in that process, because I was doing something else for the 10 years, I was working at kind of my role was kind of fringe construction. I had the art studio where I was doing steel artwork, architectural artwork, and I was on this one project for 6 years. And it was really this carte blanche project where it was like design it, get the best materials, and build it. A dream gig. Right. And so the learning process there was this really interesting kind of free flow experience, just a crap load of work, physical labor, long hours, but just this dedication and this motivation to get to see the final, like to get these pieces done and installed and just, up at 6 a.m. and then, sometimes home at 2 a.m. in the morning because we're just, grinding on this thing. So what does that have to do with, what you're talking about? I think it's this idea that there are so many ways to adjust. Are you paying attention to other things that are going on around you and seeing commonalities? Like, I could use that in my teaching. I could use that in the way I teach, and I could use something from construction in the way I teach. The terminology for me that I use all the time now, monitor and adjust, came from Ron Cox, the general manager, the general contractor on that job. And I've known Ron for a lot of years, and that term for me just translated to tennis so well. So the other part of it too is that when I came back to it, I started engaging at web tennis. I kind of reached out and I said, do you mind if I jump in here? And what it did is it really helped me clarify my thinking because I had to write it down. And so as I'm watching, I'm listening to your comments, I'm listening to what players are actually thinking because they're commenting, and the light bulbs for me just started binging, And so I would write this thing that was like this and go, oh my gosh, okay, and I would just get it like reduce down to the elements because no one's going to understand what I'm saying. I need to really be clear here about what I'm trying to convey. So that process really helped me kind of untie the knots of my own box teaching methodology. So that started to expand the way I think, listening to the members on the courts talking and the way they were trying to implement tennis theory. And all of it just I could just see it plain as day. And I don't know why it happened, but it just transformed the way I started thinking about how to not only teach the game, play the game, all that. And so since then, obviously you and I have spent untold hours, banging ideas around. And then, those ideas too with other, national players, gold ball winners, players who are just trying to come in, understanding their challenges. And then for me, and you do the same thing as well, on the kind of the psychology side, learning more how to read people. Like, what is this? What makes this guy tick? Because if I can figure that out, I might be able to come up with the right words for this whole concept to click for him. Not not the technical aspect of hitting the ball per se. There's a little bit of that in there, but really getting them to open their eyes and see the beauty of the game and understand. If you just relax a little bit, you might have a little more fun. We might win more matches, right? So I think understanding how people tick is a great thing that I don't think a lot of pros really put enough emphasis on. Really understanding who you're talking to, and
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. And actually, I responded to a comment over at YouTube at the Gold Ball Hunting channel at YouTube. And it was pretty much just saying that there's definitely, not all, but there's a percentage of teaching pros out there who don't do anything other than force their idea or their system onto every run of their students as a way to validate that what they're doing is, in their own mind, it's just a way to validate to themselves that this is the right thing to do. And they don't have any clue as to whether or not this is going to work for this person or for that person.
Right.
But I think the other thing too is that we don't help students, we don't set them up with a foundation for learning, meaning that we don't sort of initially say to them, you're going to fail a lot as you start as part of the learning process. I can't give you the quick fix, man. I mean, I can't pull the golden little silver bullet out of the pocket and go, or the pill and go, here you go, here's a glass of water, and boom, now all of a sudden you're never going to miss your forehand again. And so I think we don't do enough. We don't set up our students in a way that they realize that I've got to fail. I have to make mistakes to be able to learn. And if I don't, then I'm just never going to learn. I'm never going to progress past where I am right now. And so I think that's hard for people in general. It's hard for players in general. And it's tough on coaches to go, how do I handle this? How do I handle the frustration of my student failing, not being able to do the thing without going, look, man, first of all, my motivation here is I want this person to come back next Thursday, right? I want them to come back every week. So don't I have to make them feel good? And to me, that's kind of like, that's like the big rub right there. How are you going to help them keep coming back week after week after week if they're not having immediate success? And to me, if you don't set up, here's the reality of the learning process. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome because I'm going to show you a way to take your mistakes, how to correct them. We're not going to call them failures. We'll just call them feedback. That's all it is. Come on, man. It's just feedback.
It's just data. Yep.
And I don't think we do enough of that. And I think if we did more of that we would relax more as coaches and not be so, come on, God damn it, get it, would you?
Right. I think so. I think I know I've, like I said, and this, my teaching has, transformed over the years, and it's still transforming even, as recent as yesterday. I'm always like, listening. Are you listening to what your student is telling you? Because they're probably giving you all the right clues that you should be making an adjustment in how you're giving them feedback, but they don't know it. They don't even know, they're trying to give you feedback, but they don't even know how it should be interpreted or that, but they're just trying to tell you, that doesn't feel good. And I always probe a little farther on that and say, okay, are you telling me it feels physically, you're feeling physical discomfort, or does it just feel different than the fuzzy warm feel of your regular forehand?
Yeah,
right. And so I think it's really important that the teacher helps guide the student to understand the differences between the words that they're using, because this is all communication. Somehow we got to get our, we got to lead this person down this path, and communication comes in all kinds of forms and fashions. And so it's important that, are you using the same words that everybody else is using and just trying to redefine it? We've talked about this a little bit in other episodes, and I think that is just a recipe for just really like stick in the spokes stuff. It's a recipe for that, where the student is trying now to redefine it, but they don't like the new feel, so they really don't want to go there. So getting them to defining them, saying, listen, and this is as much as this is a standard statement, that learning and getting better and advancing, all that happens at the very edge of your comfort zone and moving into full discomfort. Right?
Yeah, if not
being uncomfortable.
No, if not slightly past your comfort zone. It's well, anyway, listen, I just want players out there to realize that the way we learn in general is we got to make mistakes, and that's cool. And I know that there's a lot of peer pressure out there where when you go out and you actually commit to say, you know what, I'm not satisfied with the level that I'm playing at right now, whether it's singles, whether it's doubles, I want to see what I can do to get better. That's great. I love that. And and a lot of players will go, yeah, but then I've got to go through this whole learning curve, and I might lose to this guy, and I never lose to him, and this and that, and they think about it and they go, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to stay where I'm at, and right. then to me it becomes frustrating that it may maybe in other areas of your life as well, that's the way that you. That's the way you live, is you don't want to get out of your comfort zone because either you don't want to fail or you don't want to look what you think you look kind of funky in front of your buds or your family, and you don't have the guts to be able to go through that process. And right. I think once and I think our job as the coach is to tell a guy, look, it's going to be cool. It's going to be great because you're going to get somewhere that right now you have no idea what it's going to feel like. Once you get there, and one day you're going to go, this is the greatest thing since sliced frickin' bread. I mean,
yeah, there's so much more fun to be had. You're having fun now, but there's a whole nother level of fun, one level better. I mean, it's really, I think I'm gonna throw this in there too before we stop this episode, and that is, as coaches, it's also our job to identify those things that could be mentally the hurdle that the student has to get over as well. So, I've got two gals that I'm coaching right now, and both of them are great athletes and very fast. And both of them have kind of, in their comments, the way they've said other players talk about that. Well, the only reason I beat her is because I'm fast and I can defend. Right. And so I immediately look at that and I go, time out. First of all, we're not going to take our greatest asset and downplay it like, oh, I'm not worthy, and otherwise I wouldn't be a decent tennis player. I look at that and go, hold the phone here. We're going to have to remaster the way we think that.
That's the imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
where they just think that people are going to find out about me. I'm really not this good. I'm not this worthy.
Yeah. So even yesterday, I just had time out. Listen, I'm reworking and rebuilding your game based on the fact that your greatest asset is that you're a great athlete and you're fast.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? And so so I think for other students out there, other gold ballers out there listening, is like, are you downplaying your greatest asset? That would be like saying, oh, John Isner wouldn't be where he is in the tennis ranks right now if it weren't for his serve. Well, duh. Of course.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what? That's his greatest asset. So why wouldn't you milk that thing and ride that horse till it bucks you off?
Right.
Right?
Right. That's right.
So I'm kind of passionate about this. Obviously, you can tell, right? It's like the guy has milked his athletic ability and his talents and treasures to the umpteenth degree. More power to him. It's irrelevant whether he wouldn't be there if his serve wasn't that big. Well, I'm sorry, but it is.
Yeah.
So guess what? He gets to ride.
What are we gonna say? What are we gonna say, John? Because you're 6'10", you only get one serve.
Well, I mean, it's ridiculous. So, but that happens at every level of the game. Down to our league players. It's like,
right.
Take a personal assessment, and are you actually agreeing with the general crowd? Oh, I wouldn't be a blah 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 if it weren't for this.
Right.
Just hold the phone there and go, wait a second. That's one of my greatest assets, and I should be proud of it, and I should actually learn how to use it better.
That's right.
How about that idea?
Yeah.
And then embrace it and go all in.
Well, look, if I totally agree. I think just dipping your toe in the water is never going to get you where you want to go. It's never going to get you that result you want. And most people, I think, feel that there's more that they could do on the tennis court. I mean, I know I feel that, and I think most players do. And as we get older, I think players are looking for, what other things can I do besides drilling mindlessly cross-court groundies all day long? What other things can I do to actually keep getting better?
Yeah.
And you have to go all in. I mean, just like you said, you have to go all in on that desire and that want to get better. You cannot dip your toe in the water and just go, well, maybe we'll try this. There's no dabbling. I'm sorry. There's no dabbling at all, which is, again, one of the George Leonard things in mastery is you'll find out about the dabbler, and while the dabbler it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
If you really want to move the needle, it's not going to work.
Yeah. If you're a 3-0 player and you want to become a 4-0 player, you're not going to get there on tips.
Yeah.
We're not going to start that conversation again. But I'm just throwing it out there saying it's going to take work. You're going to have to Shawshank it.
Right. All day. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I actually saw something on Tim Robbins last night. It was a Netflix show. Oh, on creativity. Which is right up your alley. Anyway, so guys, listen, hope you got something from today's episode here at Gold Ball Hunting. A couple of reminders. We are still offering a complimentary private coaching call with you, me, and Jeff, a 3-way phone call where you got to bring that one thing in your game right now that you just feel that if you could figure this thing out, and if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you're perfect for this 10-minute coaching call. Perfect for it. It's free. And do-it-yourselfers are typically looking for the YouTube stuff, but we got something better for you. So anyway, to get on that call, go over to goldballhunting.com, first name, email address, click the button, and you'll get immediate access to our online calendar scheduler where you get to cherry pick the date and time. Jeff, what do we want the folks to do?
We'd like you to like us, share us, please subscribe. Let us know what you think down below because we want to know what you think.
And we don't want you to just dipping your toe in the water about letting us know. We want the full-on commit to letting us know. Guys, get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. And Jeff, we will do this again tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Okay.